Good, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Monday Practice, a space here created by Creative Living Fellowship, created and supported by Creative Living Fellowship here in Phoenix, Arizona, a religious science church, which I have the honor to be part and be a staff minister here. As I say, today is Monday Practice, and I apologize for all of you. And as some of you are connecting, for the wait, I have a technical issue. I was not able to enter into the channels to produce the today's Monday practice. So, but here we are. I'm finally streaming. So, thank you for your wait, and thank you for being part of this community. So, as I say that every Monday in my introduction, Monday practice is based on the activities that we do on Sunday. It's related with Sunday service, and we explore different practices beyond of prayer, meditation, mantras, yoga that are the natural and the most known practice around the world. But there are a bunch of other practices that help us to center, to align with ourselves, and to align with the source that we are, all of us here. And so that's the idea behind of this space. But before we go deeper on the topic, I want to invite you, all of you, to support us and by donating, by giving a support to Create 11 Fellowship. Um, the information it will be in the chat or in the comments down this video. You can use it by using our website, um, or using our PayPal link, or if you are in your phone as well, you can use the his phone number that is showing up and donate through the phone. So with that part done, I want to continue with this Monday practice, and I know we are on time, so a time constraint. For the month of July, we have been exploring the um, the essence of freedom. So with the very different ways, and remember, we explore this every Sunday service. So I really invite you to visit our YouTube and Facebook channels. Give us a thumbs up, give some comments, but as well, you can actually go through the our archives and look for the Sunday talks, and so you will able to l- visit all the talks and the inspirations from Sunday service and the month of July and other months behind. So for last Sunday, yesterday, the topic was break free living, disaster of the light. Reverend Sherry was using this break free living as a way to remind us that it's up to us, it's our responsibility to be careful where we create and where not, and to always be centered in God, and so that we actually release and relinquish many of our limitations or limited thoughts and ideas or beliefs that we have. So in that idea, surrounded with that, with a break free living, um, I came with a spiritual practice that is called the yearning. So the yearning is actually let me show this quote over here, is the force field of desire that draws us to go. It grows out of our sense of incompleteness and our deeper need for something more, which we know can only be met by the more, which is God. So this is a beautiful introduction of this a spiritual practice based on yearning, which is actually allowing God, allowing our desires coming and express himself from God and as God. So what is the difference that? So in our horizontal plane, we have all desires. We say, well, I want to travel, I want to have a car, I want to have a relationship, and so on, so on, so on. But the 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 but at the same time, under that blanket of desires translated is a big desire, which is God's desire wants to express himself in many ways through you and through your ideas and through your expression. So that is the yearning, is when we allow that force of desire from God coming through God, and allow it to be expressed in the world. So by doing that, sometimes, and that was what Reverend Sherry was talking with Break Free Living, Disaster or the Light, is that we tend to block our desires or block the practice of yearning by being stuck in the status quo and unwilling or unable to move. That's just what Reverend Sherry was explaining. Really invite you to see the video of the Sunday service. Well, we talk about fears. We go to talk about other major limitations or major beliefs like resistant things that that block us this expression of the God's desire. Because it's sometimes we tend to return to a status quo to just because it's something that we know versus the things that we don't know. So continue with this idea of yearning. Uh, no, our world is probably too small. We don't realize that there is a much bigger one available to us, and that is the breaks, breaking the breaks, break free. So when we allow ourselves to dream, to have the dreams, to have these desires that comes from God to expecting to be manifested, and we do our work and our prayers and all around this, the actually the picture that we are creating, which is the translation and transcription of that desires, is bigger than with that. So if we allow it to not just to express itself, but allow it to express in many ways. So instead of just focusing on just one idea, in many ways, everything is possible and is bigger than we think about. Um, Let me make it a little bigger here. We may also stifle our yearning out of fear or a need for stability. We may be too cynical or pessimist to believe that at any life other than the one we are used to be is possible. So that's totally related with Ray and Sherry with the break free. So we when release our breaks, we release our limitations, we release that cynical and pessimistic way to see the things and to believe that the only the things that we know and the way that our cultures, our society, and our personal values create is the only possible way. So this is the exploration that we're going to do today through our spiritual practice. The spiritual practice related with this yearning practice is called the Holy Desires, and is being explained by Anthony de Mello, a wonderful monk that has a beautiful books in this way. So the Holy Desire, tell the story, Anthony de Mello, is that it comes from there are many sources actually, and inspired me, a monk called Ignatius of Loyola. Ignatius de Loyola is it was a monk that have much of the desires. He wants to express God's ideas and God's ideas in many many ways. So he always wants to be in alignment with God, so that we can actually express that desires more freely, more clean, and less limited by our breaks that we create. We already talked about that fear, or comfort zones, or the status quo, or the possibility that is just based on what we believe our life is. So Ignacio was very rich in his desires. So he also visited the ideas of Saint Teresa of Avila and many other mystics, discovering that desire is not wrong. Desire is not wrong. What is it's not wrong, but it's make the things more difficult is when we are just attached to the one specific outcome. So when you have the desire and you break free these desires and be expressing and focus on the expression and the feeling of the desire, that God is impregnating you, is telling you, is moving you through you and as you. So you allow the expression of the manifestation of this wonderful world that we haven't seen before. So Ignacio de Loyola, he create was a practice, the holy desire, that was actually to it has to do with a little visualization and a little exercise of the law of the assumption that we saw in the past, in the past Sunday and the past Mondays on this month. So where we assume and we feel what is this desire being manifested, what is the feeling of this desire, and how it looks like. But the kick or the upgrade that Ignacio de la Loya added is that we remember that the desire comes from God first. So we align with that by remembering that God's desire is the one we want to express. So we center ourselves and we're looking for. We say to God, before my desires are here, I present them to you and allow you to go into express the desire. So when we doing the visualization of the assumption exercise, instead of let what we read before that or status quo or the belief that it's just possible for our lives, we just allow it to be free of that. So we are allowing God build and build and build on that, bring out the image, bring out the feelings, so that everything is being manifested and possible. Ignacio Loyola as well. You used to do this every day, so was asking always how I can serve you, God, in your desires, in the manifestation of your desires, and allow the self in a silent moment to listen what was there. And at the same time, when he was asking how I can help my brother to bring their desire, your desire, through my friend, or through my brother, to into manifestation. And then he was doing it by themselves. So basically, to go through this spiritual practice, the holy desire is two parts. One is that we see three parts. Sorry, we center ourselves first in that essence and the presence that we are. We live it in that way, and we experience it in this way. And we allow the spiritual things. And when the ideas show up, instead of just focus on the details and focus on the maybe it's possible, maybe not possible, like our minds will say, we just allow it to happen. Let's say it's idea of a trip. So instead of to say, well, it's a beach, it's in a mountain, it's in another nation, it's in the next near state, blah, blah, we just allowing what is the feeling. So we just start to visualize what is a trip. So the idea of, oh, is a driving car, or is in a travel in travel through airplane, or is a boat. And we go with God looking for the expression, moving and moving around in the expression. And then we rest in that idea and we let it go by allowing to the feelings showing up. So it's okay. It's in an airplane. So we feel the being in the airplane, feeling the energy of the airplane moving through ourselves. And then we are experiencing more, and then we go there. So the idea is as well behind of that is that we are a service with God. The desire is a desire of God, and we are serving to be the instrument, like St. Francis would say, to be the instrument to the manifestation of that dream. So you see, it's not what we think that we need, what we think that is possible, what we think is should be, but it's actually connecting with the source and allowing the source telling us where is the desire, and to almost tell the story of the feelings around the story around that desire, that it comes from God coming like that. So we experience and we are moving forward, we move forward, and that. So um, so another way to Ignacio Loyola was promote to this spiritual practice of holy desire is that if you want to serve God, for example, you want to bring God in every aspect of your life, It's like you find some example that represents that to you. So, and you can see yourself doing exactly the same things or similar things, but it's all about the feeling. It's, remember, it's not too much into details. When we enter into the details, it's is our egos, is our personality trying to put back again into the brakes. But it's actually it's moving forward. It's just letting be in his service. I want to be served. I want to serve God. I want to be one with you serving. I want this desire of traveling is a way to serve you in a way. Tell me more. And you allow the spirit to moving forward, telling you more and more and more. So to do this, I'm going to play some music, and we're going to that aspect. We're going to go into the center in ourselves and to ask how I can serve you, God. What is your desire for me and for to be manifested? And we will see what is show up. And you say, okay, it's a travel, it's a relationship, it's a better job, it's a job bigger than this, or it's a creative business. But don't put your agenda. Just let it be. Just let it be. So take a deep breath, another deep breath, and allow the music take over you, help you to relax, help you to be one. And now just remember that we are one with God. We are experiencing the life of God. We are having God Himself as us, through us. And when everything that we do is coming from God, we can may interpret it, do an interpretation or a translation or transcription of all that God wants through our ideas, through our breaks, to beliefs, to our what we think is possible. Or we allow God to infuse us and let us to desire and to dream, so that this dream can serve God. And we are just using our co-creative power to make it possible, to make it strong, and to make it real. So feeling the union with God, remember the union with God. We say thank you first. Thank you, Father. Thank you, God. Thank you, universe. And now we ask God, say, what is your biggest desire, so that I can support you, that can be part of this great manifestation? What is that you desire through me? And ask me. And let it rest. And don't try to question it, don't try to judge or create an opinion, whatever is showing up. Could be very simple, like cook dinner, a trip, to take a class, many ways that God can. Remember, this is the way to serve God, by allowing this divine relationship with ourselves and God to manifest from God. not from our fears, not from our guilt, not from our limitation, not from our breaks. Tell me, God, what is the desire? Or the desires, could be more than one, that you want to create, co-create and create with me. This desire is not based on needs or needs of fear, needs based on cover ups. It's just on the contrary, it's just an expression. It's an expansion. So allow that. So say thank you. Now that if you have the desire or desires clear, take it and start to feeling how we feel that as you and through you being manifested. If it's a relationship, what is that love expressing through you? How you will feel. Yes, the romantic idea and then the relationships completely stable. How will this relationship serve God's ideas? How this trip will influence, motivate, and will create connections. How that will be the feel. It's all about the feeling. Just remain a moment. Try and call the feelings all around that. If it's a new place, a new house, how do you feel in that place? The sense of tranquility, the sense of home, the smell of cinnamon, the warm feeling. Let it feel. And if you see other people around you being part of this dream, imagine them also feeling this dream, experiencing the dream with you, this desire with you, happy to feel, and all the time expressing God and the love of God. Let it be. So also remember that we don't have anything to do by ourselves. God is showing us the desire and He's showing us the ways. We only have to keep in mind is the feeling of the being manifested of that desire. The guidance, the steps will be released. And we know that. So to finish, we just say, thank you, God, thank you. Here is your desire. I am your instrument. All the desires come from you. I'm so grateful to serve the higher self for a higher purpose. And this desire has a higher purpose. And we release all the beliefs. We let go. And we say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we return in totally gratitude to our steps. Thank you. Now I'm ready. We can open your eyes. Or you can continue working a little more after this and allowing the desires, the feelings behind that. Maybe there, as I say, there is many other desires, so you have to go one by one of the desires and put yourself in the disposition to be a servant, to be an instrument, so you can see the glories, the miracles happen in your life. Thank you, all of you, for being part of this. Thank you for allowing me to explore the different um, three, practice. This was a wonderful one that when I found it, and it's very much in many aspects of my life right now. So thank you, all of you, for allowing me this. Thank you, and I hope to see you next Monday for another Monday practice when we were finishing this month of July, and we maybe find a wonderful way to welcome that. So let me know how you feel with the experience, and write in comments down and give us a thumbs up, and hopefully to see you next week. If you are curious about this music that I've been playing, it's Dance of Life, and it's by Peter V. Helen, and you can find it on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music. So thank you again, and I hope to see you in Monday practice. Bye bye.